Welcome to Elite Business Consultants Visual Breakdown. This visual breakdown is designed for those who are interested in the idea of selling their business. Many business owners do not know that it is possible to sell their business. If a business is profitable, a business is sellable. Similar to real estate, a business can be marketed and sold. However, all marketing efforts should be done confidentially. Confidential marketing is extremely important when selling a business. For this simplified breakdown, we will discuss the process of marketing and selling a business. The first step in this process is to acquire a non-disclosure agreement for the business. This agreement is a contract by which one or more parties agrees not to disclose confidential information that has been shared with each other as a necessary part of doing business together. Non-disclosure agreement templates can be found online, or you can contact a legal advisor. The next step will be to gather as much information about the business as possible. This information will help the buyer in determining whether or not this business is a good fit for them. The more organized a seller is in these initial stages, the higher the probability of getting the business sold. Once this information is gathered, you will need to come up with a value for the business. This value will assist in establishing a listing price for the business. The process of valuing your business is discussed in another video breakdown that we provide labeled Quickly Approximating the Value of a Business, number 1 and number 2. The next step will be to create a marketing packet. The two key components to this packet are A, a write-up description of the business, and B, a breakdown of the business financials. The business description will consist of various information such as the name of the business, listing price, annual sales and adjusted profit for the past 3 years, a basic summary of the business, number of employees, inventory amount at cost, value of equipment and fixtures, etc. The financial breakdown will be based off of the past 3 years' tax returns. You will want to show a breakdown of all the expense adjustments as discussed in the video breakdowns Quickly Approximating the Value of a Business, number 1 and number 2. This is very important. The buyer will want to see the actual profit of the business. Once this packet is created and all information gathered, one can list a business through a variety of online business marketing websites. Search online and one will find a number of business marketing channels. Once this marketing goes live, potential buyers will contact the seller inquiring about the business. This is where it is very important to interview each individual buyer. By asking the appropriate questions, this will weed out those individuals who are not the right fit. Once qualified, the buyer will be sent the non-disclosure agreement. After the non-disclosure agreement is signed, the buyer is now able to receive information about the business. This information consists of the business description form, financial breakdown, and any other questions that the seller is able to answer. If the buyer is qualified and motivated, I highly suggest communicating via telephone or face-to-face from here on out. Communication is key to a successful business transaction. Written emails or texts can be miscommunicated and disrupt the selling process. If the buyer is interested in moving forward, the buyer will submit an offer to purchase the business. Terms, contingencies, and sell price are discussed and should be entered in the purchase agreement. Note to seller: always receive legal advice whenever a contract is involved. It is the buyer's responsibility to make sure that the company's affairs are in order before the purchase is finalized. Due diligence is conducted once the buyer and seller have signed a letter of intent or once an offer has been submitted. Due diligence normally occurs in the 60 to 90 days prior to buying a business. The seller agrees to give the buyer access to all business data, including finances, sales figures, personal records, and customer data. This is also the time that the buyer aligns his lending preference: all cash, seller financing, SBA, etc. Once the seller and the buyer negotiate the details of due diligence, it's time to schedule the sale closing. Closing a sale is typically handled by an attorney. The purchase and sale agreement will be prepared and reviewed. Upon legal supervision, the buyer will address any outstanding obligations or contingencies. Finally, the buyer will sign documents and transfer funds. If you have any further questions, please contact us through www.elitebizconsultants.com.